What up, guys? Welcome to Base Damage. We are back. Woohoo! I
Yeah.
know. Timmy's like, yeah, I've been back for a while. So no, but yeah, no, it's me and Timmy.
Yeah,
We
yeah,
got,
we in here.
we got. Man, it has been a long bit. I have been driving a whole bunch, been a lot of different places at this point, and it has been crazy. Put it that way. But I am
I've
back.
also been driving, but that only really applies to going to work and back.
Yeah,
So
no,
not as much as you.
mine's like 11 hours a day. So,
Yeah,
uh,
no, mine is 30.
damn, total.
Yes, that is a round trip.
There you go. But I'm back for a week, and I've already recorded a deck profile. I'm gonna try to get that up soon if it isn't up already by this point. But I got up with Timmy and said, "Bro, the Apocrypha set got confirmed." He's like, "Yeah, I'm gonna be spending money on Astolfo." I'm like, "Yeah,
That,
well,
that, those were my words.
yeah."
Those were indeed my words.
So I said, "Bro,
I feel like those were everybody's words. Everyone saw, best boy, and
there
they
you
were
go.
like, "Well, I know where my money's going."
There you go." I
If that is not where you're putting your money, I am sorry.
well, between Astolfo and Mordred, basically for me. But anyway, no, so possibly, okay, guaranteed. Yeah, I'm gonna be grabbing Astolfo, so whatever. Okay, so
Well, I can almost guarantee there's gonna be at least one Astolfo in everybody's deck. So there we
indeed,
go. And everyone gets a little bit of Astolfo.
there you go. Also, I'm trying out a new mic for a podcast at this point because I've been told that like a lot of the sound on my end sounds quiet for recording. So either way, this testing out this, and we'll see how this goes. But yeah, we wanted to go over the Apocrypha set. It's a lot. It's a full 100 card set, but they only did 3 colors. So we're gonna try to just plow through these as quickly as possible. But they got yellow, which basically covers ruler, siege. Seeing who else is it. Basically, like ruler and siege is just all the yellow stuff, unless there's like another. It's like the main ones in there. Red, which is going to cover because there was 2 factions for the Fate Apocrypha anime. There was the Servants of Red and the Servants of Black, but they don't have actual black in here for colors, not like Puyo having purple. So all of the Servants of Black are the blue cards. So like Astolfo is blue, where Mordred is red, so stuff like that. So that's what they're covering, and they got like 30 something cards for each of the red and blue. But there's no green. So, and they had scrolling, 4 promos. So Poochie Ruler, Poochie Red Saber, so Poochie Mordred, Poochie Astolfo, and Poochie Black Assassin, which is Semi-Remus. So interesting. Okay. I'm a big Fate fan in general, so I've seen so many of these characters already on like Grand Order and whatnot.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I feel like none of these are new to us, but in card form though, in card form.
Fair enough.
Well, we can't even say that because there you go, everything's in card form.
Yeah, you got a point there, and they're still getting a lot of the servants from this into English Grand Order, so we're probably not going to get everybody for a while. It's whatever. But yes, okay. The last point I wanted to make for this was that they did introduce a new mechanic in this. For anyone who hasn't seen the little podcast me and Timmy did about the spoilers of certain cards.
Way back when.
Yeah, it's like way back when. But that also covered that covered the trial deck, or like the trial deck stuff in there. I think it's still going to cover or have some of the
I
cards.
mean, that was covering like trial deck. That was covering random spoils we saw on Facebook too.
Mm-hmm. So
Because we got like 2 different spoilers. Like, oh, dude, they just updated in the middle of the podcast. Well, this is coming in live, boy.
oh yeah, they did do that. I remember that shit now. That was great. So actually, we did go over a couple cards in here because the new mechanic, or I consider new, at least it will be new for English, if nothing else, is where certain costs require you to put cards in your level face down, and thus causing whatever color that card is. If that's like if you only have that one blue card or whatever in your level and no blue in your clock or whatever, if you turn that card down, you now are locked out of being able to use blue cards until you get another card in your clock or level, etc. So there's cards that it's basically supposed to be the function of the command seals
So you get a lot more of them.
Yeah, you get a lot more of them because cards, certain ruler cards actually turn face down cards in your level back face up, because there was a portion where in the anime where she gave command seals back to Sieg and another master. So it's just I like interesting little it's flavor for the effect, sure, but at the same time it's also something new that it's probably going to be very interesting. So
yeah, I feel like they tried really hard on this, and I actually appreciate it a lot.
Mm-hmm. So
good. Same with Gurren Lagann, like their whole mechanic's kind of cool too. So man, I'm glad they tried on that, and I'm glad they took a step in the
absolutely
like outside the box, and it actually hit pretty well.
Especially considering how much older Gurren Lagann is.
Right.
Like it just the fact that I feel they did it justice to a degree. So
yeah, like they took a shot in the dark and they actually hit, and it hit really well.
Yeah. And even with this, like just from the spoiler stuff, I remember it was pretty cool. But for the most part, I'm going in outside of those like little bit of spoiler cards that I'll probably remember as we're doing this. I don't remember most of them off the top of my head.
I remember one of them because it was the Taige clone, and that's all. Mm-hmm. That's all we called it.
That's true. Oh yeah, it was a Fran.
Yeah, Fran.
Yeah. Outside of that, I really don't remember much off the top of my head, so this is going in blind, but let's go ahead and bounce into this.
Yeah, this is blind for me, except for Taige clone, which we're probably not even going to get to because of our
that might be an uncommon or something.
Here.
Yeah, because we're only going
common actually.
Yeah, for anyone who doesn't know, we're just going to try to go over the double rares and rares, and if anybody feels that a card doesn't get mentioned that probably needs to be mentioned, please comment it in the comment section for others to be able to see. And get people talking about this set. So
yeah, I mean we'll discuss it with you too.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Down there.
So okay, already talking about one of the cards that involves the new mechanic. So we have the first one is Saint Ruler, is a 0/0 1500. All of your other characters with either Master, Servant, or Homunculus trait gain 500 power. So global 500 to essentially the whole deck or the whole set.
Quite literally the entire set.
So unless there's some random ass thing in there, like we are going to cover some spoiler cards now that I think about it, but
like unless there's like a like what's the word I'm looking for here, a mono like weapon trait, I don't think you're gonna have any problem with this.
You saw the level 3 Fafnir. That's dragon.
You right.
So it makes me wonder if they're actually going to cover that or not. So that'll be in that. We'll get to that in a second here. But it has the that effect of the mechanic of being able to rest her, choose a face down card in your level zone, and turn it face up. So this, for any cards that you pay that cost of putting cards in your level face down, you can tech her in because she's just a level 0. You can put any number of copies of this in here and be able to turn your cards back face up at any point. So as far as, let's say act, so only during your main phase, but as far as being able to do that every turn, and you're good. So I do like that, and making certain that you can counter that as well as it being flavor. I'll get words straight in a second here. But Servant and Flag trait, because it is the Jean of Arc. I am not even going to attempt to pronounce this next one because it's like French or some bullshit. I don't know.
Yeah, it's like Luminous Eternel or just something.
Yeah,
right?
Like I said, it's supposed to be like, because she's French, so it should be like a French-sounding noble phantasm. So I don't know. Either way, this name Ruler 3/2.
It's like if you want to know, the quotation says go play Granddaughter and find someone with a ruler and then have them use their noble phantasm. Then you'll get the pronunciation right. Okay.
Exactly. So
or just go look it up online. One of the two.
I may.
The first one's probably more fun though.
I'm tempted to put it in the sound effect for the podcast, but so there's a 3/2/9/5. If there are 2 or fewer climax cards in your waiting room, this gets -1 level in your hand. So very easy. When this is placed from hand to stage, draw up to 1 card, choose up to 1 cost 1 or lower character in your hand, and put it on any slot on the stage. And that covers quite a few levels. Like there's easy like level 1-drop level 2s. So there's quite a bit of stuff you can put in for that.
Definitely. And that's not all.
Indeed. At the start of your opponent's attack phase, you may pay the cost, which is discarding a card. If you do, choose one of your characters with Master, Servant, or Homunculus, and that character gets 2,000 power for the turn. I actually like this for the sole purpose of just being able to discard extra climaxes. Like, oh, I'm about to refresh. Let me go ahead and toss this extra climax and know that it's going back in, and give him a buff. We're good.
Yeah, especially if you're already like early played her, then you're pretty good to go.
And she can give it to herself. That's the cool thing. So
right.
Next is Inherited Blessing Sieg, 3/2 10k. When this is placed from hand to stage, draw up to 1 card and it gains 2,000 power for the turn. Getting Mikasa feels from AOT. Let's see. I have to go past the cost here. Okay. When the battle opponent of this becomes reversed, if Blasted Tree is in your climax zone, you may pay the cost. Which, before we continue, which climax is Blasted Tree? Like, what is it?
Okay, I believe there's 2 Blasted Trees. Let me make sure here.
Ooh.
I thought I saw another one at one point. Yes, there is. There's a yellow Blasted Tree and a blue Blasted Tree. So the blue Blasted Tree is, both the triggers are a soul and a gate, and it's 1k1 to your to all your characters is per those types of climaxes. And then the second one, the yellow one, which I'm trying to find because I lost the link to it. There it is. It's double soul for triggers. And then it's on place from hand to climax. Choose 1 yellow card in your waiting room and put it into your stock, and all your characters get a soul.
Gotcha. All right.
So, honestly, don't know which one I would stick with. Honestly, I've never been a fan of double soul triggers. Let's be honest here. I've never been a fan of those.
I've had to deal with those with the new Gurren Lagann set, and I don't care for it.
Like
personally.
Every time I check them, I'm like, oh, that extra 1 right there is what's gonna make them heal, and it's gonna anger me slightly.
Yeah.
And usually 9 times out of 10, I'm like, ooh, I'm a little bit peeved. But that's a conversation for a different day.
Unless you're on the receiving end of it and then you don't cancel and it's like, oh, 5 damage. Well, fuck me. Okay.
Well, you know what?
So, but the cost being discard a card from your hand to the waiting room, put a growling black berserker from your memory in the waiting room, and put this in the waiting room. Jesus Christ.
So if you discard a card, you take Black Berserker out of your memory, and then send this card. Okay.
Yeah.
That's a lot of cost.
Yeah. Okay. Then if you do, it's on reverse of the battle opponent, so you've already done an attack. It's basically a faux restandard, because then, if so, choose up to 1 Evil Dragon Fafnir in your hand and put it in the slot this was in. So it summons from the hand, which is interesting. Like, I don't know how the growling Black Berserker is going to get into memory, but that's Black Berserker means it's going to be like blue, so we won't see that for a bit. So we're going to have to make a mental note of that as far as how that gets into memory, and then how well the Fafnir combos.
I'll try to save us some time here. Let me go ahead and let me look at it just to see if it does it itself. I'll just answer if it does it itself.
Go for it. Pull that up, and I'm gonna go ahead. I'm actually gonna go ahead and pull up Fafnir.
If you climax combo with Blasted Tree, I guess you can use the blue or the yellow one. It doesn't matter at that point because she's a blue card that combos with that as well. But if you use that climax combo, then she'll gain 15, and then at the end of its attack, it would send itself to memory.
Oh, okay. Cool.
So it does make sense. It does make sense at least. So we're
okay. So
we'll continue more about that card when we get to blue. But for right now, yes, it does combo pretty well.
I gotcha. Okay, so I'll hold this up until I get to the Evil Dragon Fafnir, but we're still going to continue along. So then, Distant Promise Ruler is a 0025. It's just a brainstormer. So pay 1, tap 2 characters. For mill 4 for each climax, search your library for up to 1 Master Servant or Homunculus. Once again, covering like the entire set. And since that's the only effect of it, this is going to be really useful to be able to try to have copies of this in a deck being level 0. It can work basically in any deck. So any of the ruler stuff is probably going to be able to work in almost any deck for the most part.
Yeah, in just about every deck.
So
the only qualm I have with this is that I don't like the fact that it doesn't do anything else.
Agreed. I can completely agree with that.
This is no different from Madoka set 1 of Homura's Brainstormer, the one that I run 3 of in my deck, because it's like the only Brainstormer available that's pretty good. But except for my the other Sayaka that I run one of. But it's like, why doesn't it do any? This is a day and age where Brainstormers do everything else.
like I'm kind of used to this. Excuse me. I'm kind of used to this a little bit because of SAO. In SAO, I would tech in. There was a Silica Brainstormer that essentially did the same thing, but for salvaging, because I really didn't have a way to mess with the graveyard otherwise.
Right.
Or waiting room. Sorry, not graveyard. Different game. And even the Sleeping Knights Brainstormer, which was a Searcher Brainstormer, if you didn't have the Asuna or the Yuki in the middle center, it essentially also did nothing else. I mean, sure, you ran the Zek and Yukis, so sometimes you're going to have that more often than not.
I was like, it's very hard not to run an Asuna or a Yuki, though.
Mm-hmm. But
but at least it's there.
Yeah.
Like, it's like, there's a difference between you can't do it and you're just choosing not to.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas this is like, you just can't. You don't do anything else. Meanwhile, with the Sleeping Knights, it's like, I mean, I'm choosing not to have this ability be used, but
so
I don't know. But I mean, it's not a bad card. I just wish it kind of, even if it was just like a blanket 5, just something standard for
like assist 500 in front, something of that nature. Yeah,
it doesn't have to be like a good other skill, just something else to do.
Fair enough.
Right.
Which I could agree with you on that. So that's understandable. And then that was 4. So
yeah, which whenever we're done talking with this card, I do from earlier. Now that I thought about it.
What's that? No, which one?
The Seek from earlier.
Oh, Seek. Okay. Yeah, we'll be coming back to him in a bit here anyway.
Yeah, I was gonna say, because whenever we do go back to him, I do have quite the important thing to say about him, because I realized some pretty good stuff.
I got you. So next we have Master's Qualification Sieg. I'm not impressed by this already, and I just kind of glanced over it. It's a 003K, and the drawback is that all your other characters get the ability that they can't side attack. And when he's placed on hand, 2 stage from hand, mill 2 for every Master Servant, he gets it says X amount of power, which is probably gonna be like 1,000 for each of the Master Servant characters that you mill. It just doesn't state 1,000 up here. So
yeah. And in the Japanese text right above it, it does have the number 1,000 next to it. So I'm gonna assume that's what it is. It's gonna get 1,000 per.
Agreed. So understandable.
And yeah, I agree with you. Not impressed because it's not. I would understand if this is like 3,500 or maybe 4,000, but this is a vanilla.
It's a 3. It's a 3K.
Yeah, it's a vanilla stat 3K.
Yeah.
Like I'm not gonna not have my character side attack because this card wants to try to get power for 1 turn. No, thank you.
Yeah, no. So the next being Judge Ruler. This is one of the first like kind of plussing engines I've seen. So 105K. When this attacks, if you have the climax combo, the French word luminosité something or other is in the climax zone, and there are 5 or fewer cards in your stock. Look at up to 4 cards from the top of your library. Search for up to 1 character with Master Servant or Homunculus. Put it in your hand. Put the rest in your waiting room. So it's like the Amelia from ReZero, but not with the stock restriction, I don't think.
I'm not a fan of the stock restriction.
That's whatever. Like, it shouldn't really come into play that terribly much, but if you are the type of person to try to build up on stock, this is obviously not going to work.
Right. Well, I always feel the situation of, let's say you just had a really good early game with healing, and you've been at 0 for like 2 turns.
Mm-hmm.
You're not going to, unless you just really want to get the skill off, you're not going to save those zeros like that.
Exactly. So
like, it has to be like a brainstormer for me to want to save it, but I also have to immediately want to replace the field in front of it.
Agreed. So,
I mean, it's not bad in an average situation. That wouldn't work. That would work out for you just fine. But
true. And what is the climax for her?
Let me go to my yellow section here. I kind of organized my tabs this time. So, it is a soul trigger and a spin trigger.
Ooh,
and it's
nice.
1K1.
So 1K1 spin trigger for Amoy du Flamage.
Yeah.
All right. Then we have more Amoy du Flamage. Ruler. I don't know what that says.
La Pucelle.
La Pochel. I'm sorry. There's a French dude somewhere who just got pissed at me for no reason.
Oh, you know.
So 3/2 10K. During your turn, for each of your other master, servant, or homunculus, this gets 500 power, so it can get buff up on your turn. When this is placed from hand to stage, you can discard a card. If so, for the rest of the turn, this gets 6,500 power and the following ability. At the start of the Encore step, deal 1 damage to your opponent, put this into the waiting room, choose up to 1 Letitia in your waiting room, and put it in the slot this was in. Okay, so now... okay, it's because it's like where she uses up the last bit of her power from
Yeah.
the tail end of the show.
Heavily enjoy that 6,500 boost. Don't know why.
Let me see where...
And it also gets its own... Like, this card's gonna get huge.
Yeah. So, that's fast.
So if you have a full field, that's...
12k.
Yeah, that's 12k, and then plus another... That's 8... Jesus. 18,500.
Okay, and this Letitia is...
Unboosted.
Yeah, this Letitia is pretty cool, too. Okay.
Yeah, that's actually one of our cards down the line, too.
Oh, this is a common.
It's a common. We're going to ignore the mess out of this. We should probably discuss this.
I'm going to pull it up because I actually kind of like this effect. It says if you are level 3 or higher, the character opposite this gets -1 soul, which is kind of crazy.
That's pretty good, actually.
And then you can, an act ability, you can put this on the bottom of your library. Choose up to 1 of the other level 3 ruler.
Yeah, Lumia.
In your hand, whose level is equal to or lower than your level, and put it in any slot on the stage. Now, the cool thing is, this the way that this states is equal to your level or lower. If it's fulfilling the conditions, if the level 3 is fulfilling the conditions of the early play condition, it counts as level 2 in hand.
So you basically, if this happened as a level 2.
Yeah. So you basically can just send this to the bottom of the deck and summon a level 2 for free. Or summon that level 3 early play for free, or even at level 3. So that's kind of cool. But then it basically, this other one bounces into this random ass level 1. So it's kind of freaky. Right. But it's like,
actually kind of interesting because you go into level 3, go back down to this level 1, and then you're like, well, I just refreshed, I just drew this card, I don't have stock. Put this at the bottom, put this card out of my hand. We're good.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. It's crazy. I don't see it coming up too terribly much, but it's still going to be funny.
Right. I don't know. I think it'll be all right.
Possibly.
Because it does give it to you for free, which is interesting. But
I agree.
We'll let time decide on that because it is kind of gimmicky.
True. Next is the evil dragon Fafnir that the Sieg changes into. And it does have the homunculus trait. So spoiler alert, Sieg becomes says, "Fuck it, I'm gonna be a dragon" at the end of the anime. Anyway, so 3/2 10k. When it's placed from stage to stage from hand, heal 1. So if it gets summoned off of this because this summons from the hand, you heal. And then when
you get the heal off.
Yeah. And then when it is also placed on stage from hand, choose one of your characters, and he gets the ability. One time this turn, when damage dealt by this is canceled, you may deal 1 damage to your opponent. Afterwards, at the start of your Encore step, send this to memory face down. So he is just meant to come in, heal, give somebody cancel burn, and then gone.
Cancel burn and dip.
Well, I mean, he can give it to himself, so that works.
Yeah.
But, I mean, once again, flavor. It fits the character because that's essentially kind of what happens. So.
Right.
All right.
The only thing I don't like about that is that he sends himself to memory face down.
Yeah.
I don't like that face down part because that gives Persona fuel, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, but actually, you have a very good point there because most of their cards only end up putting like 1 card face down. Good point, but that means if they already have one from one of their effects, and then he goes anyway at level 3, that gives them 2 sources of fuel for that. That's a very good point. I hadn't even considered that.
Or if they just don't have one and they didn't get the calling card, well, congratulations, you just gave it to them.
Good point. I don't know how often that's going to come up, but that is a very, very good point.
It won't come up that often, but it's always just small things like that I'm like, this is going to get me killed.
more than anything, that's why it got brought up, is because it will be your downfall.
The moment
at
I
some
read
point.
this, I was like, oh, it's hit stuff to memory. And then I was like, face down. I was like, why specifically face down?
Ass
Why
first.
I was like, why did that tick my brain for some reason? I was like, wait a minute. My opponent can use that.
Specifically P5. I don't even know if there's any other sets that mess with that.
No.
But
I just feel like sets that are like super common, like P5, I'm like, this is gonna happen to somebody, and I'm gonna feel so bad for them.
they were gonna feel really bad for you.
Because I'm gonna try it, and it's gonna happen exactly to me.
But that is.
Like, I talked about this on the podcast.
This is true. It's like I feel like I'm getting flashbacks here. But 1 through 8 was all of the double rares and rares from yellow. Next is red, and the first one for this is your boy, Shiro.
Me.
Mm-hmm. Holy Grail War Shiro.
Me.
Yeah.
Other me. Let's say with that. I need to get one of these wigs too.
I know you talked about doing this cosplay at some point.
Yeah.
So
I saw one at an amazement. I was like, oh man, that dude's cool.
Did you see him because you went cosplaying as Emiya Archer?
Yeah. Except for I couldn't catch him because we were in the arcade room.
You should have just locked him in your Noble Phantasm. Okay, anyway, bad joke. He's like, it's ruler class, dude. He would just bust out.
I said, then true Emiya would have came out and I would have tried to kill him. But
so true.
But no, I saw it. I was like, oh my god. But then he immediately started gearing up for like Just Dance because they had that in the corner, and I was like, all right, I really kind of want to watch this dude in this get-up dance, but I also gotta go find my friend because I lost him. So and he has no idea where he's going. So
now that everyone has the mental image of Shiro Kotomine playing DDR, but all right, yeah. That is a funny mental image. But so Holy Grail War Shiro is a 0/0 1500 power. I'm already seeing a climax combo here. When Hanging Gardens is placed in your climax zone, you can return this to your hand. If so, look at up to 2 cards from the top of your library, choose up to 1 of them, put into your hand. Put the rest in the waiting room, and then discard 1 card. So, decent bit of hand filtering, and then you can tap him to give one of your characters 1,000 power for the turn.
And here's the thing about Hanging Gardens. Now, I feel like this is a lot better, because Hanging Gardens is a +1 soul and a standby trigger.
Yeah, that's what I was hoping. That's what I was hoping.
And then, of course, it just has actual card effect is just use the standby.
Yeah.
But
so yeah, no, that's what I figured it was going to be. I've really enjoyed those effects because you play the standby trigger, you can go ahead and do this, bounce back to the hand, and then summon something with the standby trigger in the spot that this was on. So I really like that synergy. So, and if you need to, you can just discard him at the end of all of it if you're done with him, but probably reuse him multiple times if you end up getting the standby triggers more. So
I was like, this is really, because that's just, oh man, that's so much advantage.
It really is, because I've been doing that with the Silica standby combo from SAO, and that is so much stupid advantage, it's insane.
Yeah, no, that's actually crazy.
And that's limited to just, like, characters. I did that. Shiro ends. The Silica is limited to just characters because you just reveal the top card. That Shiro grabs anything. Yeah. So
you can even get like another climax combo for the future too. That's pretty good.
So next is Full of Self-Confidence Red Saber Mordred, 0/2K. When this is placed from hand to stage, look at the top card of your library. Put it on either the top or bottom of your library, or put it either on top of the library or in the waiting room. Sorry about that. Then, when this is placed from hand to stage, you can pay the cost, which is 1 stock and the top card of your library to your clock. So you do yourself damage. If you do, choose a level 1 or lower character in your waiting room, return it to your hand. Hello, Staple. Straight up.
Right.
So, which this does. This can be done 2 different ways. You use the first effect to go, do I want to send this to the waiting room to potentially grab it, or do I want this to be in my clock as damage?
Yeah, you get to choose what your damage is in that regard. That's pretty good.
And you can choose the order of it, but that's more than likely what you're going to do, is you're going to look at it and go, which is this more useful as? Oh, I need this color? Okay, cool. I don't need this card, just the color.
Right.
And then use the effect. So I like that. This is really good and is probably going to be a decent price tag due to that of, like, utility. So
Yeah, no, that's gonna be pretty good.
Yeah. Specifically because it's also salvage, it may not have as big of a one. If it was a searching effect for this, yeah.
Oh, no, if
No.
it was a search, this thing would be.
Fucking Nia from Gurren Lagann and anyway. So
Yeah, so that'd be the highlight card.
yeah. Then next is Last Flash Red Saber 3/2/95. When this is placed from hand to stage, you can heal one. And then Climax combo. That was 95 2 soul. Sorry. When this attacks, if Clarent is in the climax zone, you can pay the cost, which is 2 stock and turn a face-up card in your level zone face down. And if you do, deal X damage to your opponent.
Clarence.
This gains 3,500 power until the next end of your opponent's turn, and the X is equal to the number of face-down cards in your level zone. So, this does... basically, you can kind of control how much burn you do. If you have other cards and effects that turn down for what? No, that turn down cards more, or if you have multiple copies of this, you can swing with one, burn for one, swing with the second one, burn for two. So that's understandable.
Clarence and 1K1 salvage, by the way.
Nice, I like. So I like that, like how you can kind of control the burn, or if you've already done an effect, or if you have the ruler and you just like, okay, I don't want to burn for 3 off this, I just want to burn for 2, or precise damage if you know that may end up killing your opponent. So that's nice.
Right, like, cool, they're at 3/5, swing her for 2, and then if not, go ahead and get your other 2, and then...
Indeed. Next is Secret of Pedigree Red Saber. This is 0/500. It can't be chosen as the target of your opponent's effects, and your other character in the front row center slot gains 500 and a brainstorm. Pay 1, rest this, mill 4. For every climax, choose up to 1 character in waiting room, turn to hand. So, salvage brainstormer that can't be gotten rid of. I actually really like this because I've been pointing out certain card effects that end up doing a little bit of spot removal. And like there was a Yoko, there's a level 2 Yoko from the Gurren Lagann trial deck that can get rid of your opponent's back row cards. And this is one of those that's I mentioned this in the deck profile, which was if you see your opponent if you want to get rid of anti-salvage, or if you see your opponent has a brainstormer you want to get rid of, just get rid of it. This can't be chosen, so this gets around that.
This is permanent.
Yeah, so that's very nice. I like that.
Yeah, that's super neat, actually.
Then Salvation of Mankind Shiro Kotomine is a 0/0.
That's too flattering for me, I know.
I know, right? I should have known.
I just like the way this dude dresses. I don't know why.
I mean, I don't blame you. He's being fabulous. So 0/500. When your other character becomes reversed in battle, you can choose one of your characters. That character gets 1,000 power. Or you can rest 2 of your characters, choose a card in your level zone and a card in your waiting room, and swap them. I am very familiar with this effect because of Glitter Green, and I very, very much enjoy this. So,
oh yeah, this is Glitter Green.
Yeah, the 1/1 Hinako from Glitter Green has this exact same effect, and it makes effects go off in Glitter Green that require that so much effects state when a card is placed in your level zone, such and such goes off. This probably isn't the same degree. This is probably I have too many cards face down.
Yeah, I was gonna say, this is probably on a higher degree than that. Actually, like, too many cards face down. Let me just go ahead and.
But yeah, that or just color fixing in general.
Yeah. Oh man, I had to clock because I'm stupidly monocolor right now. But I drew my yellow card. Let me go ahead and just rest this real quick and there we go.
See,
now we're good.
See how funny is that you could in a multicolor deck with this go clock myself, specifically put yellow in here. Play a level 1 yellow card, use his effect, switch it out to like blue or whatever, and then play a level 1 blue.
And then play another one,
so
right.
That's just kind of cool to me. Anyway.
Yeah.
There may be some effects in here that state when a card is placed in your level zone, or that effects go off, to which he makes that come to fruition more. So.
Right.
Then.
Or, at the end of the day, it's also just more unflipping the levels, so that's pretty good.
True
so
too.
I do enjoy how it doesn't say choose a face up or anything. It's just like choose a level. So you're like, cool, I used this already, let me just switch it out.
True too. So Promise of Return Battle Red Lancer is a 0/2K. Placed on stage from hand. You can pitch a climax salvage character. Kind of common there. Still pretty cool, don't get me wrong, but okay, how far down we say that was out of reds?
Head Hang on.
Was what, Throne
It was a
Room?
long. No, Power of the Monsters. That was the last rare. So we still have a lot to go for
Okay,
this.
gotcha. Okay, cool. Just pulling these up.
Yeah. Power of the Monster was the last one.
Gotcha. So it's interesting. Like I've. Mhm.
Yeah, I was saying. I'm assuming the next one was a blessing.
I gotcha.
Yeah, it was the next card on the.
Yeah.
Continue what you were saying.
Let's see. Blessing of Undying Red Rider. It's Achilles. It's a 0/0 2K. If there are 2 or fewer cards in your stock, it gains 15. When this becomes reversed in battle, put the top card of your library in the waiting room. If it's level 2 or higher, you may rest this. So the whole coin flip simulator effect. For anyone who doesn't know that, don't worry. Next is Final Battle Red Rider. We're still in the rares, by the way. So
yeah, red has a lot of rares. I want to say they have like the most rares.
What? I'm sorry. I'm making certain that I'm understanding this.
Oh!
Oh, I see
pretty good.
I see the point of this though. Final Battle.
That's pretty good.
Choose 1/0. Okay, it's a 1/0 3000 backup. But here's the issue: is when you use the backup of this, choose a card in your level zone and a climax card in your waiting room and swap them. So, 2 things. It makes it so a climax card has to go into your waiting, into your level.
Into your level.
Now, I've seen, once again, for the good or green, I've seen certain cards that benefit off of this. There's one of the level 3 states it gains like 2,500 off of a climax being put in your level. But you can control that easily with the cards in glitter green. This is interesting, and there's probably more effects that work off of this.
Well, I was gonna say, so you do this backup, right? It's a pretty, for a level 1 free, it's a pretty strong backup actually. So you use the backup for this, and then next turn you use Shiro Kodomine, just get the climax back out of there.
Well, here's the question, and because I don't know this, if anyone knows the answer to this, please comment. Because with Weiss, I've always understood that you follow effects as far as you can. If you don't have a climax in your waiting room, can you still use this? Like if you've just refreshed.
Very true, actually.
If you've just refreshed,
I need to read this again.
And there's no climaxes, because it says when you use the backup, meaning you're already discarding and using the backup.
God, I forgot what the name of this card was. Oh, Blessing. Okay. No,
oh, yeah.
It was after that.
No, Final Battle Red Rider. But it's the fact of it being after, it makes me question it. Like, do you have to have a climax? But it's like with Kantai, the level 0 Hibiki, you can use her effect and everything, even if you don't have the level 1 Vernie to summon off of her effect of where when she becomes reversed, pay 1, send her to memory, summon the Vernie from the waiting room. But you can still use that even if Vernie isn't in there. So the whole putting a climax in your level is supposed to be a drawback, to my understanding, due to this not having a cost and being a 3K backup.
Yeah, from what I'm going to interpret this as is you use the backup and then this skill pops, but because there's nothing to swap, you can't swap, but you already used the effect. Using the effect is what triggered the backup. Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. So, I could be wrong.
So I'm assuming just if you just refresh and this is just a free 3K backup, you can't do anything about that.
That's insane to me. That's freaking awesome. So we could be wrong.
I think that's how it's supposed to be. I don't see any other way to interpret that, honestly.
Fair enough.
Because like you have to have used the backup to use that first effect. So
yeah.
It's more one of those like when it's done, it's done. Like I already place it, the effect's already off.
Mm-hmm.
This just happens and it fails because I don't have the targets.
Ooh, another climax combo off of Hanging Gardens for this next one. So this is Semiramis. Throne Room Red Assassin. Well. Yeah, Throne Room Red Assassin, which the Hanging Gardens was the standby, right?
Correct.
Correct. Okay. So climax combo. When this attacks, if you have that climax, you can pay 1 stock and salvage a character. But when this becomes reversed, if the level of the battle opponent is 1 or lower, you can reverse that character. So you can just side with this and still get the effect or whatever, and still salvage. or you can just purposely ram into this, salvage, and then reverse to level 1 or lower. So fun little stuff in there. Because she's an assassin, she's like, you're still going to die. So that's kind of cool.
Down with me.
If I fall, you're going down with me. Okay, sorry, that's Dixie Chicks. Okay. Yes, I live in the South. Okay. Knights of the Round Red Saber is a 1/0 5k. Climax combo. When this attacks, if Red Thunder is in your climax zone, you can pay a stock. If so, choose your from your waiting room, choose up to one Last Flash Red Saber, which is the other level 3. Right? Yeah. Which is the other level 3, and up to 2 tobaccos and return them to your hand. That's an event we were talking about earlier.
Right. See, I'm glad I put up those events too. I'm glad I did that.
Yeah.
Okay, so in order of appearance here, Red Thunder is a 2-soul climax, and it's the choose a red card in your waiting room, put it to your stock, and everyone gets the soul.
So it pays for itself. At least one of them pays for itself. That's cool.
Correct. And hang on, I gotta close my other tabs here because I was looking up the French word that we're no longer mentioning. 2 tobaccos. It is a 0-cost level 1 event. If you do not have a character with either Shishigo or Red Saber in the name, you cannot play this card from hand. Obviously, put the top 2 cards of your deck into your waiting room. Choose a level X or lower character in your waiting room and return it to your hand, where X is the sum of the levels of those cards.
Nice. Okay.
So if you mill like a 1 and a 2, then you can get something 3 or lower.
I like it.
Yeah. I like how it's free. Free's pretty good for that.
Absolutely.
And it mills too, so that's also pretty good.
It's trying to be like the Something in the Warehouse event from Bang Dream is just what it reminds me of. But that's like mill 3 for almost the same thing. Almost. Not the exact effect, but okay. So it's specifically working with her and her master and trying to be able to get stuff to go off that way, which is pretty fucking cool.
Right.
Next is Apocrypha Shiro, which is the Shiro Kotomine. Is a 3/2/95. When this is placed from hand to stage, it gets 1500 power for the turn, so it becomes an 11. When it's placed from hand to stage, you can salvage a character. And lastly, Climax combo. Up to once per turn, when the battle opponent of this becomes reversed, if Clash of Desires is in your climax zone, you can pay 2 and discard a Throne Room Red Assassin from your hand to the waiting room, and if you do, stand this. So, I feel like I've seen cheaper restander effects.
No, there is cheaper restanding effects.
You can tell that like Bushi's trying to restrict stuff more. Like there's flavor, and then there's just too much. This is it's a restander. That's cool. You have to, admittedly, you get one of the stocks, one stock off of attacking with this. But outside of that, you still have to be able to reverse. This is a climax combo, right? No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. It's Clash of Desires is 1k1 salvage. So
on reverse, climax combo. Pay 2 stock and discard a specific assassin. This is a little bit too much of a restand cost for me.
I believe that's the one we just talked about too.
Yeah.
That's the.
Yeah.
Yeah, the hanging guard one. Yeah.
So, I mean, admittedly, that still shouldn't be that difficult. It really should not be an issue.
I mean, it's not, because everything you do is salvaging anyway.
Okay. Well, first off, Clash of Desires. What is that?
That's the one I just said. The 1k1 salvage.
I'm sorry, I spaced on it because I'm still trying to contemplate why they would put so many restrictions on this.
I get you.
Like, I would actually be a little bit okay with it if it was just pay 2 and discard a card after you reverse with the climax combo. But
I'd be more okay with it if it didn't have to reverse.
Agreed.
Because this card doesn't get that strong.
Like, I thought that...
At least for today's standards.
Agreed. I thought that the Link Strike Xenon was more restrictive of a restand effect. But this is
you have the mill climax.
But you pay like 2 and wait.
Link Strike is you play 2 on play, or you pay 2 to play her.
Yeah.
But then you get a draw out of it.
Yeah.
Which kind of pays for it, honestly, because then you mill 3, and then if you mill a climax, you restand.
So Yeah,
What
so I guess with
or
this you can
what cost.
specifically grab that assassin. But either way, what if you want to grab another level 3 instead? So like I said, I may just me making it sound worse than than it actually is, but it's.
I mean, I don't think it's that bad because from all the zeros that we've seen so far, you can get that assassin back.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Like the only situation where this is actually terrible is if you just refresh. Then you're like crap. But
Yeah, if you didn't have it in hand already, type thing. Yeah,
Right.
better hope you draw into it. So.
right, especially if like this was your last card in the deck and you're like, I need something good, and you drew this and you're like, yeah. Oh, I just refreshed. Rip.
What was it? There was. I'm trying to remember another. I can't find. I'm literally looking through deck boxes right now trying to find the Love Live Sunshine Trial Deck Plus deck that I was using.
Oh, the restander from there.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember her cost because hers.
Three.
It's like just 3 stock on reverse, right?
Yep.
3 stock on reverse to still restand a character. That's a hell of a lot cheaper out of a freaking trial deck. So anyway, I'm gonna get off of this.
Let me make sure real quick.
It might also have like discard a card, but at most that's discard a card. It's not like specifically discard this Mari type thing.
Yeah, I want to say maybe it requested the It might have requested one of the events to be in the memory
No.
to get out of there.
No, it didn't.
Did it not?
No.
Let me see. That's not the one I'm looking at.
Like I said, I was trying to find it, but because I want to make certain that I'm stating the right thing as far as like restand effects. It's a hell of a lot cheaper in that regard, if that's the case. Which
Yeah, hang on.
that's SAO.
I'm gonna grab it real quick.
Found it. Okay, so I found the
Okay, good.
deck. So
I'm glad somebody did. Because I was definitely on TCG Player looking at it like, oh yeah, it's just pay. It's just pay 3 on reverse if climax combo. Restand it. Yep.
yeah, no, it's not even climax combo. It's just
If a card named Azure Heart Condon is in your climax area.
what? Oh, that's a different one. That's a different one.
Oh, that's not the restander we're talking about.
No, this is like now then. Where shall we go? Conan is a level 3.
Oh, she has 2 restanders. Oh.
Yeah, this one's just states once per turn when.
Oh, this is the one in the set that I'm thinking of.
Yeah,
Okay.
the one of the sets when you're talking about the one out of the trial decks on once per turn on reverse of the battle opponent, pay 3, pitch 1, restand, done. And she's like an 11 naturally anyway because if all your characters are music, she gets 1,000. So, yeah.
This one draws itself a card and becomes 11 as well.
I mean, if it weren't for the fact of the whole.
And this one heals too. Oof.
Yeah, the other Conan does a whole bunch. Like, I'm sorry, I know we're staying on this card a bit too much, but I'm simply stating Bushi, when another one of your trial deck cards beats out, like a card from a set that has basically the same end result, this is just way too much. I'm just stating.
I'm just going to go with Shiro's flavor of him specifically mentioning, you know what, this fighting thing's not me. So, yeah, I'm going to believe it's that and move on.
There you go. Let's move. That's the key to this. Let's move on. So,
This dude said, you know what, I can't fight anyway, so whatever. I tried, I restood, I tried again, didn't work out. All right.
I got you. So, the next one is Power
But no,
of...
I do think it's overcosted.
Yeah. Power of the Monsters Red Archer, which is Atalanta from Greek mythology. So,
Yes.
3/2, 10k, 2 soul. If you have another character with either Master or Servant, this gets 1500 power. Obviously, you're going to have that, so you might as well just state that this is 11/5, unless she's by herself. Unless you don't play anything else, at which point, what the fuck? Okay.
Right, you must be in a very bad spot.
Yeah. Okay, I like the second effect, though. During your opponent's turn, when damage taken by you isn't cancelled, if this is in the front row, look at the top card of your library and put it either on the top of the library or in the waiting room. And I've dealt with this effect quite a bit off of Bang Dream, off of the level 3 tag.
This is a very good, like, 1 or 2 of, honestly.
This is better. Yeah, when you have, like, 1 or 2 on the field, and then you can, because then you can sift through more cards off the top of your deck each time that goes off, which is nice. So, and that is the end of the rares on red, if I'm not mistaken. I just want to check the next one, because I believe you, but I just don't remember. So,
Yeah, you're right. Right, yeah, I got you.
Yeah, that's uncommon. And caster with binoculars. Okay, if you want to read that, you can. So, anyway, someone else. But, okay, so...
Yeah. Blue doesn't have that many, so I think we can knock it out.
Oh, blue had about the same amount.
Did it?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
it was
right.
like 12. So I was gonna see, do we want to just continue going here, or do we want to?
What's our time?
49.
49. You want to just try to knock it out real quick?
Might as well. Fuck it.
Yeah.
So
Let's do it because we're already on a roll. I like that we're not like super tired. So.
we also haven't put out a podcast in like 3 weeks at this point. So.
Yeah, we may as well.
It'd be a little bit extra, a little longer than what we've done in the past, but fuck it, I don't care.
Also, you know what? Now that we're out of some of these colors, I can start for other colors.
There you go. And I think it's mostly because.
Yeah. Fun fact: every climax in red had a climax combo to go with it.
That's cool. That's actually really cool because I like being able to see that.
Yeah.
So.
I'm gonna keep some of these yellow ones open because some of them weren't even mentioned. And I'm assuming they're going to be good.
True, because we were talking about there was a black berserker that worked with the Sieg.
Right, so I'm going to keep some of these open
okay.
as well, but I'm going to close all the red ones because they were all mentioned and they all had a climax combo.
I got you.
Red, so.
I got you. I'm going to try to go through these as quickly as possible, but still try to discuss what we feel is necessary.
Go for it. I also feel like our flow is a lot better now that I opened all the events climax. We didn't have to spend time searching either.
True, too. So,
this time was already there.
Starting with the blue, we have Scattering with the Flowers Black Berserker, who is Frankenstein. So 002K, when this is placed from stage to waiting room, you can discard a card to look at the top 4 cards of your library, search for up to 1 character with Master or Servant, put it into your hand, put the rest of the waiting room. So Winter Moment Akatsuki effect on death. Easiest way to state that, and let's hope that they don't fuck it up like they did with Megumin and Konosuba. Moving on.
Right, that's...
There you go. Oh, I probably should pull up the SP for this one, but that's whatever. Extended Hand, Black Rider. So, Astolfo, one of the...
Yeah, I was like, the other reason I didn't open the SP immediately was because I kind of want to see the hand, because you can't really see the hand in the SP.
True, too. Well, shoot, you can't really see it that well up here anyway. So, 105K. We were already talking about this, so this actually may get a moment or two of discussion. So, Climax Combo, when the battle opponent of this becomes reversed, if you have Master's Command. This gains the ability until end of your opponent's next turn. When this is frontal attacked, you may return this to your hand. Afterward, reveal the top card. Oh, actually, I think we misread it. Anyway, afterward, reveal the top card of your library. If it's a character with either Master, Servant, or Homunculus, put it in your hand. Otherwise, put it back where it was.
We misread that like crazy. All right, anyway.
I realized where we misread it. So
yeah, that hidden quotation mark there meant a lot.
So the way we initially thought this was that was all part of one effect. And which we were like, oh wow, this isn't that good, but now we realize it states it gets the effect of the bouncing back. Then after it gets the effect, you reveal the top card of your library. If it's a character with Master, Servant, or Homunculus, put it in your hand. That's a hell of a lot better than what we initially thought. That actually makes this good.
That's really good now.
That actually because we're like, it has to on reverse, and then there's a chance of it not going off. Okay, we were initially comparing this a bit to the level 1 Aaron from AOT that's like really broke sauce now, where it has a similar effect of after on reverse battle, on reverse climax combo, get back an omnidirectional mobility gear, and then it gets that effect of if it gets frontal to bounce it back. Essentially, this makes it so your opponent can't do on reverse climax combos themselves to be able to get their plussing engines off. So initially we thought that this stated like it gets this ability, and then the next turn, if it gets frontaled, it bounces back, and then you reveal a card, and then you add it. But no, it's not that. It just gets that bounce back ability, and then after it gets the ability, then you continue with your attack of reveal the top card. You can potentially plus off of it. That's a hell of a lot better.
We were trying to give rhyme and reason to that and everything. We were like, this card has to be good somewhere.
It's like, oh well, then your opponent definitely doesn't want to like frontal attack you, because then your opponent, they would rather.
Just to give you guys some transparency, that was like 30 minutes of before this podcast. Like, how can we make this card okay?
Because we're trying to make Astolfo good again, right?
But we tried to. We didn't have to make him good. He was already good.
There you go. Set you up for that serve. God,
he's such a good boy.
God God bless
Such
America.
I kind of want to just comb that ponytail of yours, but anyway, yeah, tree name release Black Rider.
Right as I switched tabs, you said that, so that worked. Okay, so next is true name release Black Rider. It's a 3/2 Astolfo, 10k to soul. If the one Astolfo we just talked about is in your clock, this gets minus 11 on hand. At the start of your opponent's draw phase, if this is in the front row, choose one of your characters. That character gets 4k for the turn. So it's just the fact of early play that can make stuff big. So it's a good defensive thing, but otherwise you don't get much else out of it other than the defense. So, and you specifically have to have that Astolfo, which is still okay. So, gotcha. Next is right. Timmy's like, I'm just not saying anything anymore because I realized.
You know what?
Yeah, you're fine, dude. All right, next is Jack the Ripper. So, Killing Time Black Assassin, 3/2, 10k to soul. During battles involving this, no player may play backup from hand. They can still play events, but not backup characters. When this is placed from hand to stage, draw up to 2 cards, discard a card. I really like that part. When this attacks, you can discard 2 cards to deal 1 damage to your opponent. I'm all down for this. This is a good card. I like it.
Yeah, I'm down for it too. Not a fan of discard 2, but I mean.
Agreed. Like I've seen worse, but I like it.
Yeah, it's like there's worse things out there, but
there's literally a level 3 Liz that does about the same thing, and I think that specifically states characters. I can't remember. I could be wrong on that. So then,
could be. It could be a.
All right.
I actually don't know mini Liz cards, so you could be 100% like.
It's like Link Strike Liz. It has a salvage on play, and it has a burn effect. I think it's like discard 2, but I can't remember if it's like specifically discard 2 characters. Anyway, then Battle Stance Black Berserker is a 0/04k. It can't side, and when it becomes reversed in battle, your opponent can draw a card and then discard 1 card. So, yeah, it's alright. Active Violence Black Assassin, a 1/0/25. When it's placed from hand to stage, look at the top card of your library, put it either on the top or bottom of your library. When this card becomes reversed, if the cost of the battle opponent is 0 or lower, not level, but cost, you may put that character on the bottom of the library. So that's not going to cover all level 1s. If they play a 1-cost level 1, it doesn't matter.
Right, but that's going to cover a lot of the advantage gaining level 1s, though.
This is very true. So it's a nice plussing engine you have there. It'd be a shame if your character died afterwards. Bye, Aaron. So
yeah, very.
It's like I was specifically, upset at something there. Okay.
Yeah, it's very awkward how we always just mention only Aaron.
All right.
How far? We only have a little bit more.
How far did this go down? Like 72, something like
that. Yeah, because a lot of these
12.
are doubled because they're all like super SPs.
Oh yeah. Okay, so that was... Okay, the Growling Black Berserker was the one that Sieg comboed with.
Correct. Wait, did we skip one or did I skip one?
Oh no, I just hadn't pulled it up. I'm pulling up stuff right now.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah.
Like I said, I think
the next card is Yggdra Millennia.
Yeah. Yggdra Millennia. Fiore Forvig Yggdra. I can almost pronounce that and can't pronounce French. Okay. The master for the rider, archer of black. So it was Chiron. 1/0/3k. All 500 assist in front. And Brainstorm, pay 1, rest this, mill 4. For each climax revealed, search your library for up to 1 master or servant put into your hand. So it just doesn't grab Homunculus, but that's all fine and dandy. Another Brainstormer is always good. So, okay, this is the one that comboed with the other Sieg. Growling Black Berserker is a 1/0/45. When this is placed from hand to stage, it gets 500 times your master or servant characters. Counts herself. It doesn't say other. So she can get up to plus 25 and becomes a 7k off that alone. If I'm doing my math right, 25 plus... Yeah, if you play her last, she can become like a 7k. Even more so, when this attacks, if Blasted Tree is in the climax zone, this gains 1500 power for the turn, so 85. And at the end of this card's attack, send this to memory. So she gets big for a reason.
Right.
And then put the top 3 cards of your library in the waiting room. If there's at least one climax card amongst them, choose a character in your waiting room, return it to your hand. So she is just meant to just pound stuff and has the chance of salvaging afterwards.
Right. Okay, but since we're on this card, I wanted to go back to the Sieg as well. Please, you don't have to open it, but I was going to mention that we were kind of judging this card slightly harshly, but it just occurred to me that since this is also on attack, you can do like the entirety, like 3-way combo on the single turn.
Yeah.
Because you can attack with her first, send her to memory, do all her stuff, and then you can reverse the opponent with Sieg because it's still, again, the same.
You're right.
Climax. And then you can go into Fafnir, and then you can also swing off with Fafnir as well. So you actually get quite the turn out of this.
Very true. Because if it works out the way we think it might, it may work with either of those climaxes. Like how the Mother's Rosario has 2 different forms: the gold, the 1K1 gold bar, and like a yellow stock soul.
Yeah.
And
one was the gold bar, and the other one's the double soul.
Yeah. So okay, that works out. So I understand where you're coming from. Like you said, we kind of judged it a little bit harshly, but I can see what you're talking about because that also works off a blasted tree and just do all in one turn where she gets fucking huge.
You can actually just get it all off in one turn. She's huge.
85.
He actually kind of gets pretty big as long as you're not facing something like Titans or something huge like that.
Even then, still. Cool.
Right. Like he gets up to 13.
I do like
that.
So.
And then after that, you go into Fafnir, and then Fafnir does all his crazy shenanigans too.
True. Next, we do have Kydron, the Final Battle Black Archer, 105k. When this is placed from hand to stage, you can pay the cost, which is discard a character, and then turn a face-up card in your level zone face down. If so, choose a character in your waiting room with Master or Servant, return it to hand. So that's actually a really decent way of being able to hand filter a little bit, and you have specifically had to discard a Master or Servant to get back a Master or Servant, but you don't have to pay stock. So that's actually kind of cool.
Right, it's not the worst thing in the world, actually.
And it works with basically anything in the set that's Master or Servant, not just like one color or the other. So then we have Vlad the Impaler, Kazakli Bey. I'm probably butchering that because it's like Romanian or something.
Kazakli Bey.
Yes. Black Lancer is a 2/1/5k. When this is placed on stage from hand, choose a character in your opponent's front row. They get minus 1,000 power. A little late at level 2 to be dropping this, personal opinion, but that's whatever. When this becomes reversed, if the level of the battle opponent of this is higher than the level of the opponent, you can put that character on bottom of the library. So it is a anti-change reverser. So. He's like, no.
Nah, I'm.
This next one has such a cute face. I'm sorry.
I feel like this is gonna be one of those cards that's like kind of similar to Tiff, where it's just like it's a one-of, it's in here.
Fair enough.
It's for emergencies. Otherwise, I'm either gonna discard it so I can salvage it later when I need the emergency, or I'm just gonna clock it because this card's quite literally useless. Like that's one thing I started finding the more I played Sorter. I'm like, a lot less people change nowadays, so now I don't feel like I search half my deck anymore.
Yeah, with the way our locals is, as much as I have done that to people, they don't like it. So
yeah, I'm like, no one really changes anymore. So what's the point of this again?
Yeah,
but it's always in there just in case. Just in case.
Understand. I can agree that running at least one copy of that Vlad is still pretty decent.
Right, because you have a lot of ways to access it from either the deck or the waiting room, so I feel like it wouldn't be that bad. Granted, if it gets into your clock, I'm sorry, but...
Yeah, that sucks. Been there. Hi, Tiff. No. Been there before, but...
Curse you, Tiff, but...
No, it's all good. Then, before the final battle, Black Rider, so another Astolfo, is a 2/1/65. All of your level 3 or higher characters in front of this gain 2,000 power. He just looks so sad. Who made Astolfo sad?
He does look very sad.
When this is placed from hand to stage, you can discard a card, and if you do, choose an entrusted shield in your waiting room, return it to your hand. Is that a climax, or is that an event?
I believe... Whoops, I just closed one of my tabs, but it's okay. I believe that is a event.
Okay.
Let me do this search. Wait, what? Entrusted Shield. Yes, haha.
Ah.
It is a the level 2. What is that one? Oh, it's a level 2 4-cost backup event.
Well, damn.
4 costs for this. She's a character in battle, and that character gains the following ability. This cannot deal damage to a player. Okay. And choose one of your characters, and that character gets 1500 power.
So, Darkness Plan Astolfo? Okay.
I guess it's 4-cost, and it's 4-cost either way, though. Ugh.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh no! Hold on. I think the whole. Wait, no, that's 2 different abilities. Oh no, I wouldn't want to pay 4 just to gain 15. Ugh, disgusting.
Yeah, the 15's minimal. It's the fact of you want to be able to...
Yeah. But like, because those 2 different abilities, I was like, oh, maybe the first one's just like backup or a counter do this ability.
Cool. No, the 15 can be to anybody. The first part specifically states battle,
yeah.
so it's whoever you're currently fighting. I can understand why that's split. It's also like you can use it at level 2 if you wanted.
Right, but you'd have to pay 4 to do that.
Nope.
What I'm saying. I'm like, yeah, no, that's terrible. I'm not going to do that.
Tech 1 of, like we stated before.
Maybe.
But, especially since Astolfo can grab it type thing. It's whatever. Because I don't know any cards that grab Darkness Plan. I'm just stating. Anyway.
That's, you know what? I can't say you're wrong about that.
So, at least not out of the first set, if maybe in the second set, but we're not getting that because Harry doesn't like TLR. Okay. Moving on. Holy Sword, Black Sword. It's the 3/2 Siegfried. It's a 10k to soul. When this is placed from hand to stage, you can discard 1. If you do, put the top card of your clock in your stock. So, for being able to discard, you essentially only paid 1 stock for him total.
All right. Balmung, by the way, 1k1, and it's a draw trigger.
Awesome. So when this attacks, if you got that, the Balmung in the climax zone, you can pay 3 stock to deal 5 damage. Damage cancel can occur. Okay.
I'm not mad.
I'm not mad either. It's not last shot because reasons.
I mean, we're not mad, but clearly this card is.
Yeah, he's ready to fuck somebody up. But I mean,
yeah.
If nobody's watched Apocrypha, this dude can throw off a fucking Getsuga Tensho like nobody's business. Anyway.
Oh yeah, no, like oof.
We've already come this far.
This guy even has Ichigo.
Yeah, no, even Ichigo kind of said, "Damn." Just because I'm pulling out the promos.
Ichigo's like, but that was my thing.
So I just wanted to see how cute they are. Poochie Ruler. It's like it's a
they're worth it.
It's like a searcher promo. It's a level assist in front and pay to tap it to be able to search for a master servant or homunculus, and it's adorbs. Then you got Poochie Red Saber. It's a 2/1/5/5. For each of your other characters, the master or servant, she gets 1,000. So she become like a 95 off that. So that's cool. And then, oh my god, Poochie Black Rider is adorable. Like, oh my god. It's a 105k. When you play a climax, this gets 500 for each of.
Worth it, Penny.
It can basically get up to 2,500 for each of your master servant and for having a field of master servant or homunculus characters. And then, I was thinking Semiramis earlier. It's Jack the Ripper promo. Okay, that's cute too. Minus a level on stage, and your opponent can't play backup involving it. It's a 1/1/7/5. Becomes a level 0/7/5. Funky. But I'm just going to leave the picture of Chibi Astolfo up here. So, we're going to be wrapping this up in a second here, but final thoughts, obviously.
I think this set is lit.
Lit, like 420 Blaze lit, or...
Like this set's pretty stylish, honestly.
I agree. I know I'm like throwing out some like weird terms there, but no, for real. I
mean, who you telling? I just said this is this place is stylish, all right.
But no.
I said these cards were stylish. Okay, you want to talk about vocabulary?
Yeah. No.
But no. All in all, I think without reading all the uncommons and commons, I think this set's pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
I think it has a lot to offer.
Absolutely. Like I think
it definitely will change this game around because to make us play differently.
And
If anything, we're more careful about other cards rather than just saying, "Oh, here we go, Attack on Titan. Here we go, and more Attack on Titan." I'm like, "Oh man, I can actually name other cards from other decks now outside of Aaron."
Yeah. So my wallet.
I mean, before then, like, give us maybe like 5 months ago, it was like, fucking switch combo. I mean, I feel good that I can name other threats instead of just, well, there's that one deck. Well, there's that other deck. Well, I'm done.
So my wallet needs your wallet's phone number so they can both cry together. That's whatever.
Yeah.
So I know I'll definitely be getting into this set and messing around with stuff, especially because I think the trial deck was also like a trial deck plus, and whatnot. So I'm very much liking this. Some stuff in here it looks like Bushi's trying to tone back. Before, stuff seemed to be such a high cost, like in much older sets, and it looks like Bushi tried to step away from that. Now that they're seeing, there's a lot of broken ass shit, we need to turn back up the difficulty a little bit. But maybe not with like every single card, because there was some stuff in there. The fucking Balmung combo is just pay 3/5. Okay, 5 still has a good chance of getting negated and canceled, sure, but it's also a fuck ton easier than a fucking restand combo, you know. I'm still on that combo for how like anally tight that shit is.
I feel like that card is just gonna be, it's super hit or miss.
Yeah.
And I think it's probably gonna be honestly one of the most like talked about cards. Just from some people are gonna think it's pretty controversial. That's the word.
Fair enough.
I think that card's gonna be really, 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 really good.
Mm-hmm.
But then other people are gonna think that's really, 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 really bad. Mm-hmm. I don't think it's gonna be like it's okay. I don't think it's like in between.
Yeah. No, I know. I don't think it's bad. I just think it's restrictive.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Like I know I was giving it a lot of shit. It makes me sound like I'm saying it's a bad card. I am stating that there are other cards that pull it off easier, but yeah, it's still for what it is. It's not. It's not bad. If you want
to talk about restands, which I think is why these restands are slowly getting like worse and worse as time goes on, because honestly, I think one of the greatest mistakes of this game was letting a restander like Eris come into play.
This is true too. I think
because Eris had no business being that phenomenal at restanding, to the point that you can restand your whole field for like almost nothing from what it seems like.
Yeah, just near about.
Oh, all I did was reveal. Anyway, restand.
It's the easiest I've seen someone pull off that many attacks. I'll give you that.
Right. Like, at least with Switch Combo, or with any sort of deck that revolves restanding, you have to do like this whole convoluted, like, moving things around. You have to, like, hope on a mill. This is straight up. Look at the top card. Look at that. It's the one card that's not a climax in my deck. Let me just go ahead and restand my entire field for nothing. Alright, cool. What else you got?
Nah.
And it doesn't mill. It reveals. So if you have multiple... Again, if you have multiple Erises, you already know what the top card is. I'm just going to pay the cost for the rest of them and just go ahead and restand those too.
This be true. So.
Right. Whereas for Xenon, if I have multiple Xenons, I have to mill 6. Or, well, I guess mill 3 for each, but... And one of them might not even hit. Which happens often enough. But I don't know. I feel like restanding is such a super, like, touchy subject in this game, which is why we're starting to see more, superior calls over for the extra attack instead of just restanding.
I can kind of see it a little bit.
Doing the superior call over at least makes you minus that card as well. But in cases of Siegfried and Fafnir here, like Fafnir pays for himself with the other heal and the other things. But you also have to have Fafnir in your hand, though.
Yeah. Oh, that's easy. I've done that off of the one of the Prisma Ilya builds known as Double Strike.
Right.
I've done a similar thing for that, where there's a level 3 Ilya that summons the level 3 Kudo from hand, and you just you do that, and I've done that before. That's no problem. So that's actually not that difficult to pull off. So
yes, I'm sure it's not difficult in the least bit, but
especially when you pointed out about how easy it is to set up the Fran. Being able to just, having her in memory can just be one of the last things you do.
Right, like, you don't have to do it immediately. You can just do it when you have all the pieces.
Yeah. So, no, that's legit. I can understand. I can understand much more how easier that is to pull off than some other shenanigans.
Right.
If you just want to, if you want to pull it off like twice, you have to do that like at an earlier level with one Fran, and then do it again. But that's whatever.
And then you're gonna have like 2 Siegs and
God.
You have to have 2 Siegs and 2 Fafnirs, and it's too much.
Yeah.
Like if you're trying to do that twice, you're asking a little bit too much. I mean, if you do it, congratulations, everything worked in your favor. But if that was me, I'd be asking for too much, and I would get no peace when I need it. I'd get just Fafnir, and that's it.
I'm trying to zoom into the Astolfo even more.
I'm just saying. I feel so bad. I feel so happy for relieved face Astolfo here, but I feel so bad. It's like there's so much sadness in the eyes.
There's even, I'm sorry, on the promo, there's even still a little like chibi hippogriff right next to it. It's adorable. Okay, sorry. Yeah, I had to zoom in and see that. Okay. So
curse you, Bushiroad, knowing how to take money from. See, that's the thing with this set as well. Bushiroad was like, we don't need to make lewds this set. We just need to
make traps.
We need to just print stuff up.
We just need to print traps. But well, with
they did not miss in the slightest.
Very true. With that, I think I think our general consensus is we're both waiting for this set and want to see more shenanigans that we can do. Yeah, I want to see more that can be done. And if they fuck up on effects, cough, Megumin, cough, cough.
Okay. It's not the entirety of Konosuba was a train wreck of effects. Okay.
Yeah, just too many erratas. This was like Bushi. You had one job. Anyway, with that, thank y'all very much for watching. Please subscribe if you want. If not, hey, just thanks for coming by and hear us rattle off about
like an hour and a half,
specifically about Astolfo. This whole thing.
The set is called Astolfo and Friends. I thought you guys should.
Yeah.
This is Astolfo and Friends. Like, Astolfo's the most important card here.
Which
honestly, I'm actually very surprised that some of the Astolfo cards. I thought it was just gonna be like a fan service card, but I actually kind of like some of these.
The anime was initially called Fate Astolfo, and then they realized there were other servants in there.
Yeah, they realized, oh man, this is the main character. But, I mean, it was in our hearts, but you know.
But also, thank you very much, Timmy, for being on. It is greatly appreciated.
Thank you for taking time out of your break week to continue this.
Yeah, it's all good, dude.
If anything, I feel more bad that you have to sit here during your break week and do this.
Dude, I don't care. It's all good, but if you feel bad, you could just, I don't know. It's all good.
You're right. I'll break into Kyle's house and record me breaking into Kyle's house. I like it.
If any of y'all feel bad for Timmy, y'all could, punch that like button or something,
Oh, okay. Okay.
I'm trying to...
Since we're doing that, if you're willing, go ahead and go to the comment section, press F for respect. But...
and for our wallets. And
for our poor wallet.
Yeah. No, thank y'all very much for watching. It is greatly appreciated, and we will see y'all on the flip side. Peace.
Goodbye.